What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing Fritz Park in Irving, one of the oldest courses in Texas. Starting off with hole 1, 273 feet, par 3, right by this small parking lot. A lot of times this parking lot fills up and people park between 14 and 15 or like behind 9s. T-pad, sawed that off a little early. It was a new Bobcat and it's very cold this morning. So this course is a par 58. There's a nice line from Justin. 6,536 feet is the course length. Yeah, just a little routine circle 2 putt, upshot. Not a lot of danger here on hole 1 at Fritz Park. This is one of the oldest courses in the Metroplex. If I have my history right, the equipment at BB Owens is older. I'll get to that in a second. Hole 2, par 4, 508 feet. A whole lot different than hole 1. Sometimes this tee pad is underwater if it's rained recently. I accidentally turned this Sublime Alpha over, but luckily it was an Alpha, so it hooked up and kept out of that OB on the right side. Justin kind of makes the opposite mistake. He's going towards 6's tee pad, and the creek is over there. It's not as close to the edge as it looks, but definitely in play. I'm going to throw a meteor here, try and get out of trouble and get onto the green. If I'm not mistaken, the equipment at BB Owens is older than the equipment here, but it is not in its original park, and that this course is older, or has been in place longer than BB Owens has been in place, if my history is correct. Couldn't get a birdie, but par on a cold morning. I'm not upset with that. Hole 3, par 3, 253 feet. I'm playing backhand turnover. That meteor again, and I mess it up big time. This hole is a lot straighter.
Meteor?
Obviously the basket is straight ahead. The fairway kind of tricks the eye into seeing a turnover line, or at least tricks my eye into seeing it, because I love throwing backhand turnovers or hyzer flips. Justin throws an MD3 straight at it.
Good throw.
Much better line. If you get to play this course a lot or talk to the locals, there is like a somewhat of a safari route where you play the holes slightly out of order, and it requires less walking, because being an older course that it is, the layout leaves a little bit to be desired. There's a couple of spots where you have to like walk across fairways to get to the next basket. But here we are on hole 4, par 3, 265 feet. I think it plays a little longer than that. I think the T sign says it's longer than that. Justin's throwing a stall.
Yeah.
I'm going with my instinct. This is my first instinct. So a little more shapeable. Still pretty cold, so still pretty stable, but get some nice shape out of that slightly beaten instinct. Hole 5, par 3, 266 feet. This is a fun little hole because there's lots of lines at the basket with varying degrees of risk and reward. I usually play it the same way, but I've seen this hole played many different ways by a lot of different playing styles. So it's kind of pick whatever you're strong at and attack the basket. What was that? 4th run Apex Alpha from the VPO. And best I've ever played this hole. So hole 6, par 3, 304 feet. The line on the map shows the land route, but there is a route over the creek. This recently just got a whole lot easier. There was another tree branch that would gobble up your disc, and now it's a lot more forgiving. Still there though.
That's how it happens.
Justin's
Might be able to get that back.
scooted to the edge. I think we'll be able to get it. But especially with the sun rising behind it, it's hard to see those branches, so I'm doing the ninja branch dance. But yeah, pretty simple straight shot or stock hyzer. I was a factory second G-Star boss. I should have thrown the hyzer line, but I threw it straight. Hole gets in my head. The water is surprisingly clean and clear today, at least in the shallows, so it's just out of frame, but Justin's able to just pick it up with his hand.
Doesn't even have to extend it.
And a lot of times Sidewalk and Beyond is OB. We didn't play it that way today.
Oh, weird sound.
And played kind of relaxed rules on the OB. But on to hole 7 here. Par 3, 285 feet.
Stop it. Ow.
The creek is on the right, but unless you get a nasty kick or really misfire something over there, got a lot of room to play with. So this scared me for a second, but as soon as it hooked up, I knew we were good. See, I'm here next to Tournament OB. Little branch in the way, and he put around it. Oof. Hole 8, par 3, 374 feet. The creek is a little more in play than the map would suggest. If you're going for a right-hand hyzer or even a right-hand straight shot, you're definitely putting the water in play. I'm throwing a flippy wraith here.
Kind of flippy, huh?
Kind of messed it up a little bit, got gobbled up by that tree, but dry, which is always good at Fritz Park. Don't remember what Justin threw, but he executed it nicely. Just outside of circle 2. Little step putt layup, half run. Right under the basket, trying to get an easy par. Hole 9, par 3, 256 feet. The map is not accurate on this. You can see there's a walking path now on the left. Beyond, or on that and beyond is OB. Now that the basket is more to the right, the creek really isn't in play. You'd have to really saw something off to, or get an unlucky like skip and roll. Almost skipped it off the top. That was my first run Bobcat, my straighter of the two.
We'll say that.
It's not too bad. Oh, camera down. It's one downside of my new monopod situation. Or it's a tripod, but very tall. Anyways, hole 10, par 4, 449 feet. It's kind of a soft par 4, hard par 3. Sawed this alpha off a little bit. It's a little low, a little inside. My disc likes to skip forward and not flare so much, so maybe it's got a good position. Justin's looks much better. There's a little ditch that you can see, that dark line across the fairway. It's dry today, but often there's water in it, so that's where Justin ended up. Just a little routine hyzer. There are some hanging vines here. It's an interesting thing about disc golf in Texas this time of year is the weather is perfect, but there's lots of empty branches that can trick you if you're not looking closely. Yeah, I'm just laying up with the jawbreaker zone. Happy to get out of there with a 3, which it says is a birdie, but I don't know, it's a tweener. Anyways, hole 11, par 3, 368 feet. There's a mando tree protecting the sidewalk over there that I'm staying way clear of. And the basket kind of cut into this gap in the trees up here. So that was a Eternal Longhorn out of me. Justin's going with his stall again, playing like the stable flare shot.
That's what I wanted to do.
And he's rocking the Mountain Sports tee. It's always nice to see. Yep, see what I mean? Little ninja branch. I'm kind of sawed off. I couldn't look straight at it because of those tree branches, so just pitching it up. Hole 12, par 3, 325 feet. This hole's pretty straightforward. The road, you'd have to have an early release to put the road in play or accidentally throw a roller. It's kind of a low ceiling. I'm going to throw it way too low. But I get a decent skip. Yeah, the previous hole, hole 11, before that walking path was there, used to, you'd have to hit that same gap that the basket is in, and then you would have a second shot towards the creek. And it was kind of a tough get, and unfortunately the walking path kind of changed that hole a bit, but cool to know. Sawed that zone approach off a little bit. Landed where I needed to stick, and it did not stick, it skipped. So whiffing my putts today. Player 2 wasn't any better on that one. There, oh my gosh. On the pole, spit out. Hole 13, par 3, 431 feet. Basket is almost dead straight, just kind of up the hill to the left. A lot of these baskets do have flags, which is a nice touch that's not very common here. Big Z Zeus letting the wind get on top of it a little bit, trying to get that max distance. Could have given it a little more height, but it's all right. Jawbreaker zone here, and very much fluffed the upshot, but made the putt, I think. I don't remember. Hole 14, this is one of the harder holes on the course. Par 4, 689 feet. I'm not really sure where the best landing zones are. Obviously that depends on your skill level, but I have not figured it out. I always end up in a bad spot on the first or the second throw. Roller here is not a bad play. I ended up holding something on Annie and ended up more to the right. Justin's going flat to hyzer, pushing towards that big cottonwood tree. And that might be the best play, honestly. So I'm left with Annie. There are some basketball courts about 120 feet past where my tee shot landed. You gotta watch out for. Yeah, Justin, I think, has a better lane from over there on the left side of the fairway. Whereas I'm stuck with the Anheuser uphill, which sets up the cut roller angle behind these trees. Just trying to get onto the green with a zone. At this point, it's pretty windy. You can see the flag whipping on the basket here. And this is for par. I just got the nose angle just right and rode it in. Hole 15, got a long walk back across the creek. Par 3, 356 feet. There's a pond short that's really not in play. And then the creek deep. You're throwing at the... If the creek was like an upside down horseshoe, you're throwing at it. So I'm dangerously close to going to the creek to the left there. Because the creek is coming towards us on the left side of the fairway. If you can throw straight through that gap through the trees, that is the furthest distance to the creek. Yeah, you can see. So again, I would have been OB if it was a tournament, but we're just playing casual, so got to lay up and take my par. Hole 16, another par 3, 362 feet. Next to the edge of the creek here, well-placed tee pad. You do have the street on the right, OB, creek, or a pond way to the left if you really mess something up. Could be OB. Justin is playing Plinko and still got some forward momentum through the trees. I'm going alpha again. This is fifth run Sublime. I'm telling myself not to throw it low because I've been doing that with alphas all day today. I don't know what it is. Did it again. But luckily it's under 400-foot hole. Made it about halfway down the fairway, so I'm going to throw my Berg on Annie. And just scoot right on up in there. Hole 17, par 4, 473 feet. The line of trees on the right side of the fairway is well placed. You can see some people on the green of hole 8 over there, so trying to stay out of there. Flexing a longhorn out there and trying to get that full flight out of it. Put myself in decent position. Justin getting a flare skip off of those kind of mounds that are down there. I'm gonna throw the Berg again. Felt really good on the last one. Give it some height. Ninja branch. Ugh, I believe that would have been parked for a birdie, but got out of there with a 4. Hole 18, par 3, 303 feet, super short hole. And there's some people using our basket to warm up on, which isn't very cool of them. So we just stand here and kind of patiently wait for a while. We're near the parking lot with the practice baskets. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe just some, I don't know, maybe some inexperienced players or something. I don't know what. Yeah, so they finally step off the green. So I'm throwing an instinct on a forced turnover. A little too much wing angle, so it doesn't quite pan out, but I'm still pretty stoked with this. So plugged it into my Ace Trace app. Shout out to them. Justin's forehanding a destroyer here. Yeah, so that's Fritz Park in Irving. Super fun course. Check it out. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you out there.
Heck yeah, good forehand.